What's going on, guys? Matt here with another video for you today. Today's topic is going to be one that is kind of, dear and true to my heart, and that is some words of advice for those of you who ride bikes. And some of this may apply to motorcycle riders, but the target of this video is going to be bike riders. This is going to be a good video for those of you who may be beginner bike riders, maybe some of you who really haven't ridden a bike on busy roads before and you think you'd like to start getting serious about that as maybe a regular form of exercise or enjoyment or whatever you have, whatever your reason is. So without further ado, let's get started. We're going to go on over to my bike and I'm going to kind of show you some of the things that, as far as precautions, I take to, make sure that I'm a safe bike rider and I am well protected and well prepared for, well, basically the worst to happen. So without further ado, let's go on over and check it out. All right, here we have our bike in question. It is a Scott road bike. The model is called the Speedster S, I think. I've had this bike since, I think 2008 or maybe 2009, somewhere in there. I think 2008 is when I got it, maybe even earlier than that, not sure. But I've had it for probably about 7 years or so. It's a nice sub-$1,000 road bike. Those of you who know bikes well know that road bikes generally go for quite a bit of money these days. There are many of them, well actually most of them, that are over $1,000. Some that I think are $2,000, $3,000 even. Not really sure what a lot are going for these days, but I got this one for $900 when it was new, which was actually a pretty good value, and it's a good bike. It's well made. It's an aluminum frame, so of course it's very lightweight. It's a 24-speed bike. Got 3 in the front and 8 in the rear here. So the lowest gear is definitely a good hill gear, definitely a granny gear. The brakes are effective. Shifting is done via the brake controls actually. Of course you pull forward to brake, and if you push it sideways it'll shift. And these little notches right here on both sides are for the shifting as well. I've got 2 bottle holders on it. And this is where we're going to start diving into safety precautions when it comes to biking. So one thing you definitely want is bottle holders on your bike. You want at least one. This is the most common place for one, is on this part of the frame right here. However, you can put one right underneath the seat if you so desire, like I have here. This is really important in the summertime. You have to stay hydrated because it is very easy, especially on a hot day, when you're riding for several miles on a bike, to get dehydrated. So you make sure you want to make sure you have plenty of water or Gatorade or whatever your beverage of choice is when you're working out, to make sure you stay hydrated and that you can make it safely to your destination, especially if your bike is, well, your form of transportation. If you wouldn't have access to a car, or if you just do it for enjoyment regardless, you want to make sure you stay hydrated. So what I would recommend is a nice bottle like this. This is a biking bottle. It's a sport bottle. Actually got it at the bike shop just for the purchase of the bike. They give you this for free, which is nice. Plus it fits perfectly in there. It fits pretty snugly. A little bit of wiggle room, but it's not going to pop out. Fits nicely in both. It fits kind of tight in this one. This one is better for, actually, this is an older bottle holder right here, and this is a newer one. But this one is from an older bike that we already had, and I don't use it as a bottle holder. I use it for a warning device. And that warning device is right here. You may have seen my review on this Shoreline Marine air horn here. Well, I actually use this horn for biking, and it fits very nicely and securely into that holder right there. It's not going anywhere. Now, it does kind of turn a little bit from the vibration of riding, but the nice thing about this is the first lesson of biking, is that there are a lot of drivers on the road who are, well, reckless, ignorant, all the words in the dictionary. They don't care, to be blunt. They just don't care. They don't care about your life. They don't care about your safety. In fact, they'll do whatever it takes to make sure you don't make it home safely. And it's unfortunate, but that's the way the world is these days. It's a shame. So I use this as a warning device. Cars have horns, so I figure, well, this would be a great use for my bike. It's very loud. It can be heard for up to a mile away, according to the manufacturer. And I know it's kind of an awkward spot to put it, but I don't have anywhere to mount it up here on the handlebars. But it does work pretty well. All I have to do is reach down and trip this button right here, and it sounds the horn. So while most people will use 2 bottles in there, I put my bottle of water right there, and I put the horn under there. And it definitely gets drivers' attention. And as you can see here, I've got clip pedals on this bike. It originally came with standard aluminum pedals, just like you'd see on any bike. And I've got a pair of CD biking shoes. That part of the shoe clips into the pedal, and the rear has the grips for walking around. These are awkward to walk in though, so you can only walk so far in them. And I definitely recommend having that on a road bike because, you know, you look legit and it's great for going faster and having more pedal power, definitely. Another thing you'll want when you're biking is good pair of gloves here. These are Cannondale gloves. They cover the palm of your hand mostly. They're also padded around most of them. And these are still in pretty good shape. A little wear and tear on them, but they're still in good shape. These are great for if you fall or anything like that. That way your hands will be protected and you won't scrape them up like crazy. I know they recommend gloves for motorcycle riders. Same goes for bike riders. I can't tell you how, you know, it's better to be safe than sorry. Then, of course, we've got the obvious safety device, a helmet. Guys, wear a freaking helmet when you bike. I don't care if you're riding a normal bicycle or if you're riding a motorcycle. You're a fool if you don't wear a helmet. If you fall and whack your head off the pavement, that's your own fault. If you're not wearing a helmet and you suffer, you know, dramatic injuries, I'm sorry, but that's your own fault, and that because of your negligence. So make sure you wear a helmet, because helmets, any doctor will tell you, anyone will tell you, helmets save lives. And it can be the difference between a serious head injury and, you know, walking away from a crash with just some cuts and bruises that will heal over time. So make sure you wear a helmet. This helmet, as you can see, has a nice sun visor, which is good. I also wear sunglasses because my eyes are sensitive to bright light, and I like to ride, you know, when it's nice and sunny out. Plus, it's a good form of eye protection from any, you know, sand or dirt on the road that might get kicked up by cars driving by. And also, make sure your tires have plenty of air in them. Make sure your bike is shifting correctly. Make sure your brakes are functional. Again, before you go out on a ride, especially if it's going to be a long one or even a short one, take a good look at the bike. Make sure everything's good with it, and make sure everything's working properly so that you'll be safer on the ride. Again, your safety should be your top priority. If it's not, well, you shouldn't be riding. It's just that simple. So those are some of the precautions and things I use when I'm biking to, you know, prevent injury. Also, I wear biking shorts and a shirt just because they keep you cool, and you know, there's a lot less wind drag from them. So if you don't have that, I definitely recommend this seat I actually put on this bike. It's a nice gel seat, much more comfortable than the original thin seat that was on it. Might have added a little more weight to the bike than the original seat, but comfort's a big deal to me, so it stays. So let's go ahead and back to the seat over there, and let's talk logistics, shall we? Okay, in summary, just a couple more key points to hit before I end this video. And that is, like I said about drivers before, drivers are very ignorant today and they're aggressive. For some reason, everyone's in a hurry to get to sometimes the stupidest places, such as, I don't know, let's say you're going shopping at the grocery store, or going shopping at the mall. You want to get there as fast as possible when, in reality, you have all the time in the world to get there. Guys, if you're driving, slow down and yield to bikers. Bikers, here's the thing. Drivers are not going to yield to you. I can tell them that all day long. They're not going to listen to me because they just see us as an inconvenience to them, you know, because they have to drive around us, give us room, and blah, 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 and all that. All their their whiny, complainy arguments that they try and pose against us that don't make any sense and are usually invalid. So you want to be mindful of that. You need to be very mindful of your surroundings when you're on a bike. Same goes for motorcycles. Now, you may not be able to go nearly as fast on a bicycle when you're pedaling and doing all the work as opposed to a motorcycle. However, you are still at risk. There are drivers out there who won't give you any room, even if you ride, as close to the edge of the road as you possibly can. Another thing I want to say is try and ride on roads that only have bike lanes. If a road doesn't have a bike lane and it's thin, you're already a lot more at risk for, becoming involved in some kind of an accident than if you were on a wider road that's got a lot more room and has a separate biking lane or a walking lane that also allows bicycles or anything in that matter. Try and stay on those roads as much as possible. This helps, again, minimize your risk for being in an accident and being seriously injured. If you're riding on a dirt road, on, let's say, a mountain bike or something, again, be careful. Wear a helmet, be cautious, and don't be stupid. But when you're riding on the road, you have to worry about cars, and they're not as worried about you as you are about them. Make sure you're always looking around. If you hear something behind you, make sure you turn around and get a good look at, is there a car coming? Are they riding unnecessarily close to you? Are they trying to intimidate you? Because there are drivers out there who will do that. Also, when you're riding a bike, you need to obey the rules of the road. You need to obey the law. You can't go around breaking laws because, again, that's one thing that upsets other drivers and makes them be more aggressive and hostile towards you. And it also increases your chances of becoming in an accident. So make sure you ride with traffic on the road. Also, you want to make sure you stop at stop signs, stop at red lights. Wait with the traffic. If you're in a turning lane, for example, and you're surrounded by traffic, stay in the turning lane. Keep your spot in line, but be prepared to pedal and get the bike going as quickly as possible once the light turns green, so you're not caught in the middle of heavy traffic, stuck in the middle of an intersection, anything like that. You want to, again, minimize your risk by being aware of your surroundings. As long as you keep that in mind and take that away from this video, you will be, much more prepared for riding on busy streets, and you'll be basically at less of a risk. Now, another thing I want to say is try and stay away from riding on busy highways, because they're a lot more unpleasant to ride on. Traffic can be very heavy, and they're not bike friendly usually. In fact, a lot of police officers will probably tell you that they would prefer you to not ride on them because, well, they're not really meant for it. Stay on the back roads. Stay on the less traveled roads or roads that have a bike lane. You'll have a lot more fun riding a bike that way, and you won't come across as much traffic. So I'm going to stop there. Those are kind of some of the key points that I want you to take away from this video. And again, in summary, just inspect the bike, make sure it's good to go, make sure you're wearing your helmet, your gloves, your proper clothing and equipment to prevent any serious injuries that you might sustain from a significant crash if, worst case scenario were to happen. So, I hope you found this video informative. Subscribe today if you're not for more videos about bikes, cars, anything like that. And I'll be sure to keep you guys updated on what's going to happen in the future. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message or leave a comment. Please give this video a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And stay tuned for more. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.